Okay, welcome back to day 4 of our challenge.
This was a sample lesson from Tun Online Armenian School. If you're interested in learning Eastern or Western Armenian, you can sign up and start learning for free today at tunup.com.
Yesterday we learnt the words for feelings and emotions. Urach, meaning happy. Hognats or hoknads, meaning tired. Sovats or sovads, meaning hungry. Hivand or hivant, meaning sick. Hangist or hankist, meaning relaxed. And zairatsats or zairatsats, meaning angry. We also showed you the flashcards that you can find on our website if you want to learn more feelings and emotions in Armenian. There's a discount code TAKE10 if you need it for 10% off in the checkout. Today we're going to use the words that we learned last lesson to build basic sentences like I am hungry, you are hungry, I am not hungry, or you are not hungry. If you continue with us after this challenge and enroll in Online Armenian School, you'll also learn how to say he is, she is, they are, we are, and so on. And you'll find that even though the changes are simple in English, they're a little more complex in Armenian. But we discuss all this and more in Online Armenian School. So if it's something you're interested in, make sure to enroll and we'll see you there. Let's start with a sentence, yes I am. Yes, I am. Can you say this? Yes, I am. In Armenian, this means I, Armenian, am. Notice the word order is a little bit different to what we're used to in English. Instead of saying I am Armenian, we say I, Armenian, am. Yes, I am. Yes is the Armenian word for I. Say yes with me. Yes. Hi is the Armenian word for Armenian. Hi. Can you say hi? Notice that this is pronounced hi, not hey as we would in English, and that's because of the letter a. We learnt in day 2 that the letter a in Armenian is always pronounced a, hi. And m, meaning am. Can you say m? Yes, I am. I, Armenian, am. This is the first sentence structure that we'll be learning today. Yes, I am. I, Armenian, am. If you want to say that I am something else, we can change that word in the middle. I am happy. I am sad. I am angry. I am hungry. I am tired. And we'll practice doing this with some of the new words that we've learned later on. Okay, so what if we were to say yes, I chem? Do you know what chem means? We know that m means am. Chem in Armenian means am not. Ch in front of the word m makes it negative. Yes, I chem. I, Armenian, am not. M means am. Chem means am not. Can you say chem? Chem. Yes, I, chem. I, Armenian, am not. Yes, I chem. Okay, how would we say you are Armenian? The word for you is du in Eastern Armenian or tun in Western Armenian. And you can see we're starting to become familiar with some more of the differences between the two dialects. Du in Eastern, tun in Western Armenian. Can you say du or tun depending on your dialect? The word for r is s, and we use the same word in both the Eastern and Western dialects. Du or tun for you, s for r. And of course we know that Armenian is hai. And so to say you are Armenian, we would say du hayes in Eastern Armenian or tun hayes in Western Armenian. Can you say du hayes or tun hayes? Say du hayes if you are Eastern Armenian or tun hayes if you speak Western Armenian. Now that we're starting to learn this sentence structure, you can see that we can also use a similar formula for if we want to say you are hungry or you are tired. We would just change the word in the middle to hungry or tired. Du hayes, tun hayes. You Armenian are. Okay, let's look at the differences between the two phrases. Yes I am, I Armenian am. Du hayes or tun hayes, you Armenian are. Du if we're using Eastern Armenian, tun if we're using Western Armenian. M means am, S means are. There is another way that you may have heard people say you in Armenian, and that is duk or tuk. When we add the K on the end, duk in Eastern Armenian or tuk in Western Armenian, it becomes the formal use of the word. If you were speaking to somebody who you really respected, perhaps a government official, your mother-in-law, or someone else who you want to address formally, you would say duk in Eastern Armenian or tuk in Western Armenian. We also use this phrasing if you are speaking to multiple people. You in the plural. This could be if you are speaking to an audience or a group of people. Duk or tuk. We'll show you this for today's lesson, but in most cases we will use du or tun as we showed you before, but it is good for you to know this application as well. If we're speaking in formal or plural, the way that we pronounce the word are changes as well, to ek. If we were speaking in a formal context, or speaking to multiple people, plural, instead of saying s, we would say ek, and we do this in both the dialects. So let's review. Du hayes, or tun hayes, is the usual way that you would say you are Armenian, using du or tun for you and s for are. If we were speaking formally, we would say duk hayek in Eastern Armenian, or tuk hayek in Western Armenian. If we were speaking to a group of people, we would use that same second phrasing, duk hayek, tuk hayek. For today's lesson, we will teach you the first way, du hayes, tun hayes. And as you do more Armenian lessons with us, we'll start to get you more familiar with the second, more formal way of speaking. For now, try to remember du hayes or tun hayes, Eastern or Western Armenian. Okay, let's look at those words again that we learned so that we can start to build sentences with them. Remember, urach means happy. We learned this yesterday, and hopefully it's welded into your short-term memory. Hognats, meaning tired in Eastern Armenian, or pronounced hoknads in Western Armenian. Sovats or sovads is the word for hungry. We use hivand or hivant for sick. We learned hangist or hankist for relaxed. And zairatsats or zairatsads for angry. So if we want to build the basic sentence on screen using what we've learnt earlier, I Armenian am, yes hayem, how would we change this to say I am happy or I happy am? We'll start by filling in the Armenian word for I. Have a look at the prompts at the bottom of the screen. Do you remember which word we use for I in Armenian? Yes, well done. Okay, and can you remember from yesterday how to say happy? Urach, well done. Yes, urach. And now we just need one more word to finish the sentence. I am happy or I happy am. How do we say am in Armenian? Em, brilliant. Yes, urach em. I am happy. We've just built our first Armenian sentence together. Yes, urach em. I am happy. How would we say I am hungry? This is the same sentence formation. We're just changing the word in the middle to explain how we're feeling. How do we say I in Armenian? Yes. Okay. Can you remember how to say hungry in Armenian? Use the prompts at the bottom of the screen if you need to. Sovats or sovads. Sovats in Eastern Armenian, Sovats in Western Armenian. Okay, and how do we say am? Em, well done. Yes, sovatsem or yes, sovatsem. I am hungry. Okay, let's try if we're talking to somebody else. You are tired, or in the Armenian word order, you tired are. Can you remember how to say you in Armenian? Du or tun? Okay, du in Eastern Armenian, tun in Western Armenian. Well done. How would we say tired? Hognats or hoknads. Du hoknads something, tun hoknads something. How do we say are in Armenian? S, amazing. Okay, so if we want to say the sentence you are tired in Armenian, we would say du hoknads es in Eastern Armenian. In Western Armenian, we would say tun hoknads es, you are tired. Okay, and remembering that we learned em and chem, es and ches, how would we say you are not happy in Armenian? We'll start with the word you. Du or tun, that's right, du in Eastern Armenian, tun in Western Armenian. How do we say happy? Urach, well done. And how do we say are not? We know that the word for are is s. What is the word for are not? Ches, you got it. Du urach ches or tun urach ches. You happy are not. We use du in Eastern Armenian, tun in Western Armenian. You happy are not, or you are not happy. Let's recap everything we've learned today. Yes, I am means I Armenian am, or I am Armenian. Yes is the Armenian word for I. Hi is the Armenian word for Armenian. And em is the Armenian word for am. Yes, hi, chem. I Armenian am not. Chem is the Armenian way of saying am not. If we want to say you, we will use du in Eastern Armenian or tun in Western Armenian. If we want to say are, we would say s. Du hayes or tun hayes, you Armenian are. Du hayes in Eastern Armenian, tun hayes in Western Armenian. Yes I am, I Armenian am. Du hayes, you Armenian are in Eastern Armenian, or tun hayes, you Armenian are in Western Armenian. If we want to speak formally or speak to somebody in plural, we would say duk in Eastern Armenian or tuk in Western Armenian. Formal, or you where there's a group of people we're talking to. Ek is the formal way of saying are, and it's also the word we use if we're speaking to a group. In Eastern Armenian, the informal way, du hayes. The formal way, duk hayek. In Western Armenian, the informal way, tun hayes. The formal way, tuk hayek. Notice that both the word you and are change depending on the context. Don't forget your practice exercises. There are some worksheets just below this video to help you practice writing different sentences based on what we've learned. We are so excited to see you progress so far so quickly, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for the final day of your challenge, Day 5.